MGTOW here today for you. So guys, I know I was hyping you up for a Valentine's Day special, but spoke to my buddy today who's got my motorbike. How am I going to get this lighting working? I spoke to my buddy today who's, oh there we go, that's what I'm talking about. Spoke to my buddy today who's got my motorbike at the moment, and apparently the battery is flat, so going into the city tonight is out of the question. What's going on, underdog? Hey, how you doing, Bob? But I guess I wanted to reflect a bit on what I call Cuckentine's Day. Hey, MGTOW Charles, Wilkins, Ninja, what's going on? And you know, the way that a lot of guys do get sucked in on Valentine's Day, and the expectations that women have on Valentine's Day. What's going on, Deuterium X? And you know, there's this concept, I've talked about this before, about the concept of expectations are the breeding ground of resentment. Right, so when you expect something and you don't get it, you're going to feel resentful, right? Whether you want to or not feel that way, that's what's going to happen, because that's how it works. So when you've got a situation where it hits February 14 and sort of every girl's expecting flowers or chocolate, and look, there's a lot of them that don't, and that's okay, but I would say the majority of them do expect something, especially if they're in a relationship with someone, right? And there's certain expectation put on those men to provide those chocolates and flowers and the gifts, and in many cases even to propose on Valentine's Day, to propose marriage, which, as we know, there is actually not anything in, there's nothing in it for a man to get married these days. There's just not. If any of you guys can answer me in the comments anything, and even playing devil's advocate, guys, like I know we're MGTOW here, but even playing devil's advocate, you know, can any of you think of anything that I haven't thought of that a man might actually gain from marriage? Hey, what's going on, Seshu? Happy Cuckentine's Day to you as well. Ladies at work said to me, happy Valentine's Day. I replied, happy Cuckentine's Day, and they giggled. Nice, Bob, nice. Thank you, Simon Says, and welcome, Shield. Yeah, exactly. Shield just says, don't do it. Laugh my ass off. Hell no. MGTOW Charles says there's no scientific proof of any kind that shows marriage is beneficial for men. Chris can too. Happy MGTOW Day to you too, my brother. Welcome to the box. Appreciate you jumping in here. Just talking to the guys in here, just saying how, you know, a lot of women expect a certain something on Valentine's Day, right? Or Cuckentine's Day. Especially if they're seeing all of the other women in the office getting flowers, getting chocolates. They don't want to be the odd one left out. Right, and whether they believe in this day or not as a day for receiving gifts, there's always going to be a secret bit of them that's jealous that everyone else is getting things that they aren't, right? Because you always want what you can't have, and this is a problem. Guys, smash that thumbs up if you're in the box. And interestingly, I mean, to be fair, it was only probably about 4 o'clock. I just realized I got my car back today, and the battery went flat, so the time on my car and the time on my stereo and the time on my phone is all different. So yeah, it was about 4 o'clock, and I literally drove from one end of Sydney City to the other. I saw one woman holding a bunch of flowers. One. That's amazing, actually. I was very pleasantly surprised. I mean, I'm sure I almost had a car accident or two, because I was like, just like looking every side just to see if I can spot any flowers, spot any boxes of chocolate, spot anyone leading on hand in hand. So yeah, it was very, very interesting. Very, very interesting to see. And I think that a lot of people are becoming very disillusioned with Valentine's Day, or Cuckentine's Day, or MGTOW Day. Women are becoming disillusioned with MGTOW Day because it means that a lot of the guys that they previously wanted are out of the picture now. And Valentine's Day is, well, romance is dead, all right? I mean, it's not, but it is. All right, there's a lot of guys that still, you know, want to be romantic for their partners, but at the end of the day, romance is finished in the traditional sense of the word. It's not like the way it used to be. It is, Chris. It's another made-up corporate holiday to keep men on the plantation. It's another corporate holiday to sell more stuff. Guys, you would have seen in my video the other day, $19.5 billion spent last year. Just let that sink in. We're talking US dollars here. $19.5 billion US dollars spent on Valentine's Day. One day of the year. $19.5 billion. Imagine what could happen on that, with that money. Imagine what could be done. Imagine what could get changed. Yeah, I'll get that out to you tonight, Harmonic Life. You're gonna love it. Thanks for the beers, Simon says. And Seshu, thank you for the kudos. You know, that is my aim to drop the truth bombs for you guys. You know, it's interesting. I had someone I know who saw my channel the other day, and they came to me and they're like, dude, you know, your ex must have really done a number on you. You know, you really need some help. And I was like, look, I know I got my demons, right? I know that. And, you know, it wasn't so much that she did a number on me, it was all the people around her that was saying, oh, you know, you got to do this and you got to do that, and you're not staying with him, and blah, 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 blah. And he's leaving this house, my house. Right? They're telling her that she's staying in my house while I leave my house. Hey, Shlomo in the house. What's going on, man? Which Jewish holiday is that? Yeah, exactly, Chris. You know, I'm not going to let him. I know I am saving lives. Definitely, I've had emails, and I really appreciate all the feedback you guys give me. And you know, when you hear little one-liners that I drop, or you know, you hear stuff that I've said that really resonates with you, I love to hear your feedback on those things. And that's right. He doesn't know my story. He doesn't know the extent. I better hide my. Hey, Shlomo. Shlomo. Hey, come get it. Yeah, it is total bullshit about the house, Simon says, but you know, this is something that was actually in Stand Up Men's book. He talks about committee and about how women come together and they basically tell their friends what they should do, right? And the boyfriends and husbands of these girls are forced into compliance to go along with what this little committee says, because otherwise, you know, there's no sex for those little blue pill boys, right? No sleeping on the couch tonight. You know, it's probably his couch, but he's probably his bed and his couch, but he's sleeping on the couch. He doesn't get the bed because the girlfriend banishes him because he doesn't do what they say. You know, it's just unbelievable. Guys, if you do want to check out Stand Up Men's book, it tells you everything that I ever hear about on MGTOW channels. All of the red pills, 150 of them in the book. Flick me an email in the description below if you want to get in on that. It's $10 with a money back guarantee. You know, because that's how confident Stand Up Men is that you'll love it. And what else have we got in here? Yeah, and look, the thing is, you know, and Ninja said, I hate that fake understanding bullshit. Just because you feel some way doesn't mean they understand, because they assume shit. You're doing good, man. And I appreciate that, Ninja. And what I wanted to say to you, Ninja, and to everybody in the box here, is that I understand why they think the way they think, and that's okay, right? Like they've got a different lens onto me, right? We all look at the world through different lenses, and that lens is formed through our experience, right? And at the end of the day, it's, for me, right? Things are so much greater than just my experience, right? I'm not upset or bitter, right? Like, but I'm determined to make change. Change must happen, and it can only happen if us men get on board with making that change, and making it so obvious that something needs to happen on the other camp, right, to make things positive again, right? Because there's going to be no positive change if we don't stand up and say no. Men, the word no is the most important word in the English language. Sub Norse gamer. Exactly, explosive diarrhea. Flip the script. And Ninja says, stay true to your truth. Don't let others say filter out your thought process. Exactly. And you know, look, and Ninja, I'm not going to say that my thought process is always perfect. There's always refinement there's always refinement and self-reflection that I need to engage in, right? There's always ways that I can improve myself. There's always ways that I can make myself better within the framework of what I believe to be good and true. All right? I've always got scope for improving and becoming a better guy, right? And I appreciate all you men and your feedback. And you know, thank you, Simon says bloody great video, mate. And we have to stop throwing money at women, and we have to stop telling them that they're perfect when they're not. It's okay to give constructive criticism to women and men. It's very important, because this is the next generation. These are the people that are forming our world that we live in. Right? If we want this world to look anything like what we remember when we were growing up, or better, then we need to be the change that we want to see in the world. And we talk a lot about how, you know, there's other things in the world that are going on that are making things shit, right? But we also need to look at what we can do. Right? As Shlomo says, we need to shut it down. Oy vey. Oy vey indeed, Shlomo. Yeah. And when we see, I mean, days like Valentine's Day, they're becoming less and less important to a lot of people, including women. Right? There's still a lot of that are entitled out there. To Terry Max, Big Time Men are the next evolution of humanity. Exactly. And another thing is, guys, I saw a oh god, who was that? It was MGTOW 101 did a fantastic video this morning. Well, I mean, like, you know, 8-10 hours ago or so. So guys, go check that out. It actually talks about a book that another fellow MGTOW has done on masculinity, and how oh, thank you so much, Cheshire brother. I appreciate your shekels. Guys, if you hadn't noticed, I've actually got the super chat activated. It is the first time I've had super chat working, and Seshu's been the first 2 donations. Who's going to be lucky number 3? I appreciate you. You ain't getting your hands on these ones, Shlomo. And yeah, Explosive Diarrhea says, I can't imagine how many Tinder dates are going on today. I'm actually very curious. I'm almost tempted to install Tinder just to swipe through and see how many matches I get compared to normal. I see how desperate people are getting to actually feel that connection on Valentine's Day, to feel like they're not alone. It'd be a very interesting social experiment. I'm not going to go on any of those dates. I'm not going to follow up on any of those matches, but it'd just be very interesting to see. What's going on, Dave? Appreciate you, MGTOW Charles. Lucky number 3. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Chris says, donate to Sydney MGTOW. Big love for you, brother. Ninja says, I'm just saying that you can hear others out, but not to the point where you completely change who you are. Exactly right. And this is the thing, like, I was looking at a particular course to study, right? And I looked at what the tuition fees were, and it's on, oh, thank you, Riff Magos, welcome to the box. And I saw, you know, there was this course I was looking at doing, and in Australia with this thing called HEX, which is, it's like a student loan, right, basically. And for the whole course, it was, it's, you know, fairly high-end qualification that I get from it, but it was about 100 grand. And I spoke to my dad, and shit, my dad goes, I called him and he goes, oh, it's too much. And it's like, well, what, too much for you or too much for me? Like, you know, I feel like just saying, all right, Dad, if you want to call the shots, then you can provide me with the income. You can rock up and you can tell me what I'm going to study, where I'm going to study, and how I'm going to study it. You can provide my accommodation. But until you provide everything for me, then I don't owe you any of my decisions. Because I might be your son, but I'm not your slave. And I'm not your puppet. Right? And I love and respect my dad. But man, even when it's the person that you love and respect that is telling you should do something other than what your truth is, you need to follow your truth. Because you're the only one that has to live with that truth when that other member of your family passes away later in life. You're the only one. And guys, and if you don't live your truth, and if you do not follow what it is that's important to you, what matters to you, then you're always going to be a puppet to somebody else's expectations. And you're going to be 50, 60, 70 years old, and you're going to resent the person that you're meant to love, right? Not because they did the wrong thing, but because you followed their advice. The advice that fits with their worldview, not with your worldview. Exactly, Riff Magos. Many fathers do follow the cuck simp way. And you know, look, guys, I'm not gonna put my dad down because he has sacrificed so much. But yeah, look, there was some simpery and there was some cuckery going on. Maybe not cuckery, you know, he's alpha enough to not have my mother cheat on him, and I believe that she's been faithful to him his entire life, you know. But what I don't believe it is that he's always had a say in what goes on. Right? Even though he's the one bringing the shekels to the table, even though he's the one putting the money in the bank, right? Even though he's the one going to work every day, right? That doesn't mean that he actually got to follow his truth and what he loved doing, right? And he just, look, he can see that he's been successful, and he just wants me to be successful, and I get that, and I appreciate that that's his intent for me. But the success that he envisions for me is not a success that involves happiness for me. It's not a success that means that I'll live the life that I want to live. Canadian Patriot, welcome, brother. He said, same, my dad ain't a simp, but cuck, but he is a simp. Exactly. Exactly. MGTOW Charles's father worked in concrete for 40 years. What a man. What an incredible sacrifice. You know, 40 years of laboring and sweat and hard work and physical strength, right? Exertion to provide for his family. What a man. What a man my father was. Working his ass off. You know, even to the point where I could see that he was slipping in depression. But he hid it from us, and I only realized that what it was later. But guys, you need to sit there. Like, I mean, I was sitting here this morning and going, man, I'm because in Australia, if you want to get just a little bit of government help while you're in between jobs, the less you have, the less you need to provide. The more you have, the more you need to provide. So if you've worked hard for yourself, it's actually a massive hassle. So I've got to provide tax returns from last year that I haven't done yet. I'll get it done. I'm gonna get that done by the weekend. Got to get tax returns. I got to get this. I got to get all this stuff. And if I don't have it within 4 days, then I basically have to start the claim again, and I can only backdate the payment to the date when I submit it, which is ridiculous, right? Absolutely ridiculous. So you know, it's a frustrating time, but I sit down and I say, this is what I need to achieve. I brainstorm and I say, what are some things that I can do to get what I need right now for me to serve myself the best? And what are the steps I'm going to take? And am I going to hold myself accountable to those steps? Because that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. And Norse Gamer said, I busted my ass as a business owner, and now I have 3 businesses that give me independence. I'm free from having to work super hard by giving trust to my fellow men. And that's what you do. You work hard, you create something, you empower the people that you hire, that you create. Like you're sorry. So you empower the people that you hire, and you get everything working. So that's all I gotta say, guys. You know, just do what you gotta do. Be the man that you gotta be for yourself. Don't spend money on people that don't appreciate it from you. You know, you're always going to be number one. Even when other people walk out of your life, you're the only person. You're the only person that's never going to walk away from you. Even if you want to walk away from yourself, you're still there. Thank you, Awas Kamkwa. I appreciate you. I'm going to decline that call. Anyway, guys, you know, I just wanted to share this wisdom with you on Cuckentine's Day. I appreciate your shekels that you've donated in the super chat very, very greatly. Thank you so much for your kindness and your generosity. I appreciate you all. If you do want to donate via PayPal or Patreon, check out the link in the description below. I've also got Bitcoin and Litecoin links. If you do want to check out my new mentoring program, first session is free if you guys want to check it out. I've got a lot of wisdom I can share with all you men, whether you're in relationships, whether you want to get into one, whether you're out of one. Look, I know how to attract women, but I'm not a dating coach. I coach guys on how to look after themselves, whatever that may be. So if you do want to spend 45 minutes to an hour on the Hangouts with me or on Skype, jump in. Would love to have a chat with you and impart some of my wisdom. I just want to help you guys. That's all I want to do. That's all I'm here about. If you want to check out Stand Up Men's book, check the link in the description. Just send me an email with the title eBook, and I'll get that invoice through to you guys. Anyway, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing all of you next time. But for now, Cuckentine's Day out, and peace.